Is the reason for that? I mean, it's mind-boggling, this level of involvement of a relatively new immigrant community in that state. Is it that, I don't know, they come from a low trust society and from Africa where, and they feel, it's every man for himself. If there's free money, grab it. Is it the fact that the state government, the state governor didn't seem to be that keen to make much of it, given how tight a little voting bloc the Somali community was or is?
I think both of those things are true, Andrew. I think these people come from a country that really doesn't even function. They don't really have a functioning government. Corruption is near universal. And I think when some of these people realize that if you send an invoice to the state government here in Minnesota, they'll just pay it, no questions asked. It's unbelievable. And I can imagine some of these people thinking, wow, this is fantastic. And they made off with many, many, many millions of dollars. And I think the legislative auditor in Minnesota did an investigation, wrote a very good report. It laid out the facts. It also addressed the question, why did it happen? And she concluded that a big part of the explanation is the culture in these Minnesota state agencies. There was no sense that we're guardians of the taxpayers' dollars. We're supposed to make sure that this money is being spent for good, legitimate purposes. Their attitude seemed to be, I'm here to write checks. Anybody who wants a check, I'll write them a check, because giving people money is just fundamentally a good thing. That seemed to be the attitude. And so it's kind of a perfect storm of a very incompetent state government with that kind of liberal orientation and a group of people who just couldn't believe their good fortune when they realized how easy it is to steal money here.
But was there also a factor that, like we've seen in the cover-ups for so many years, the scandalous cover-ups in Britain of the immigrant rape gangs, of a fear of seeming racist by calling it out? I mean, that's certainly the allegation that Donald Trump is making against Governor Tim Walz.
I think there's truth to that. My organization obtained and released a 54-minute tape where some of these fraudsters went to see the Attorney General of our state, who should have been prosecuting these cases, but has done nothing. And they were complaining to him that people in the state agency were starting to make noises about more documentation. Maybe we're going to stop paying you, whatever. And they said that they're racists in these state agencies. They're going after us because we're Africans. And our attorney general agreed. And he said, yeah, we have a problem. I'll see what I can do for you. This is stupid, piddly stuff, and so on. And then a week or two later, they gave him campaign contributions. And so, the Somali community in Minnesota is an important voting bloc for the Democratic Party here. And so some of the money that was stolen by these fraudsters came back to the Democratic Party in the form of campaign contributions. And even more importantly, I think it bought a lot of loyalty. It bought a lot of votes among Somali voters because all this money is being showered on those people. So I think that is a part of the story.
Extraordinary stuff. And it's got quite a way to run as it is. Can I just ask you, John, the Trump administration has just put out a national security strategy. We discussed it briefly last night on the show. It accuses Europe of civilizational erasure, wiping out its own civilization. What's the argument there?
Well, I think mostly what the Trump administration is talking about is the immigration policies that have just radically changed the demographics of many European countries, whether it's the UK, France, Germany, the Netherlands, and others. They have imported millions of Islamic immigrants who have not assimilated to their countries, who have formed almost separate enclaves in some cases where there's very little law enforcement going on. They'll riot, they'll burn vehicles. And the Western Europeans seem to have no idea how to handle this, no idea what to do about it. And we're seeing a radical remaking of those societies in a way that is secular, that is multicultural. And so one example of that that's going on right now, they used to have and still do have Christmas markets all across Europe. And this was never an issue before, never controversial, never a focus of violence. But in recent years, there have been a number of terrorist attacks by Muslims on these Christmas markets. And so now they're putting up barriers, bollards, they got intensive police protection and so forth. And it's kind of ironic because in some cities, they've canceled these Christmas markets because providing security for them is too expensive. Well, at the same time, they have spent tens of billions of dollars importing these Islamic immigrants and supporting them on welfare. And that's the reason why they have a security problem at the Christmas markets. And so I think that's the kind of thing that President Trump is talking about. I think he would like to see more European countries do what Hungary has done, do what Poland has done, and really maintain their traditional demographics and their traditional cultures.
And there's the free speech issue as well. John Hinderaker, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Great to be with you, Andrew.